welcome to Panthera-Tora, and today we are going to be recreating the stable and white fence from Zoo Tycoon. I almost said Planet Zoo. So basically I've done this before. I did the fountain and the like picket and rope fence or something like that. It was pretty cool. It actually went over super well on Steam. It has, at least the rope fence anyway, has over, I think it's 750, it's like 779 downloads or favorites on Steam, so on the workshop. That's pretty freaking awesome. So definitely it makes me excited whenever you guys enjoy the things that I make. But anyway, today we are going to be recreating 2 more items. So I think this is kind of going to be a series. As you guys can see on the thumbnails, I am kind of sort of calling this recreating. I think it's recreating or something like that. Let me look it up while we're sitting here. It is, Zoo Tycoon remake, not recreate. Well, kind of sort of recreating Zoo Tycoon. So obviously I'm not going to recreate every item from the game, but I'm going to do my best to recreate the most iconic items, stuff that people would probably more likely than not want to use in Planet Zoo. So definitely doing that. And I ended up throwing this stable and fence into like a little enclosure that I made for zebras. I was thinking like the stable always in my mind kind of resembled something that a horse would use or something. So I don't know, I was like, you know what, we need some kind of hoofed animal, so a zebra that's really close to a horse. Let's just go with that. So I definitely did that. I tried to recreate this as closely as I possibly could to the original one, but of course there's limitations of what we have to work with in Planet Zoo. So I used the little, I forgot what they're called, the wooden planks, the painted wooden planks. That worked perfectly for the siding. The painted wooden poles or whatever they're called, the like, I think they're still planks technically, but the white pieces you see there on the doorway, use those. Those work pretty well as well. So I try to do every detail as close as I could, but of course not everything's going to match up, so there's a few inconsistencies in the actual stable in comparison to the original one, which I don't think are too much of a problem. Like if I really wanted to go and do details on it, I could probably go with like item shapes and make everything look exactly the same, but I was like, nah, this is Planet Zoo. We're not trying to be exactly perfect. I don't think. Anyway, I think it looks pretty good even without it being perfect. So, yeah. So yeah, I was just, obviously, as you see here, I'm just making the thing. I don't have a lot of talking points about this, so I'm just kind of going with what I see on the video. I did try to turn the wood plank pieces around to make them kind of inconsistent so it doesn't look exactly the same on everything. And I used that little classical piece at first for the chimney on the top of it. And then as you can kind of see right there, you can look in and see that it's hanging through the bottom like way too much. So I replaced that in a little bit. I used these classical, I think it's classic, like the top of like these bricks to make the floor because an actual flooring was a little bit too big for this. So I used that and I think it looks pretty decent. And then I moved this down because in the original one from Zoo Tycoon, there is a little lip on the bottom of the door, which I found kind of strange, but it definitely, like it works in the game, but the animals legitimately have to jump over it because they think it's a fence in their way. So just kind of be careful with that. If you want to remove it, it doesn't remove too much from the actual stable, or yeah, stable, sorry. I was thinking about sable antelopes earlier, so stable didn't really ring a bell in my mind for a moment. So as you can see, I didn't talk about it whenever I was doing it, but the chimney portion piece, I removed that, and I was gonna do something else, but I thought, you know what, let's make it more realistic, more usable. So I ended up using a heater for the chimney on that, and I think it works out pretty well. Obviously, it doesn't look perfect, but it makes it look like it's more a little bit more modern, I guess you can say. Either way, it's really good for like African animals if you have to put them in a cold environment, like up in Canada or something like that. So I think that worked out pretty well. It can easily be replaced if you feel necessary to actually replace it. So on the windows on the original one, I couldn't get it to match up perfectly with the color because the color is like blue, but of course the game doesn't really let you change those windows to a blue color. I probably could have put like a shape piece in there and made it look blue, but I ended up not doing that. Again, it's one of those things, if you want to do that, you probably could very easily, but maybe I'll go back and update it for a version 2 or something. I don't know. So on the original one from Zoo Tycoon, there are, I believe, like exhaust vents right here. And I couldn't find anything in-game in Planet Zoo that really matched up with that perfectly, so I recreated it a little bit using wooden planks, and I think it looks really cool. It turned out a little bit better than I thought it was going to, because I was just like, well, whatever, I'll just do this and it'll look good enough. But I think it looks pretty good. So, yeah, that's definitely a thing. I wish I could have put like a little edge piece on it to make it look like it was completely closed in, but I didn't do that, so that's a thing. Let's see, what are we doing here? I think I'm about to put the other two on the other sides of it. Now, one thing you'll notice in the original Zoo Tycoon build, as this video is about to close, is that there are wooden planks whenever you walk in the door of the stable, and I don't think that's really realistic in Planet Zoo, because then you just wouldn't have space and the animals wouldn't register it as a actual like shelter. So I decided to not do that. And then over here, I ended up doing the little water trough. It's not usable, but I feel like if you knew how to get a water trough to sit in there good, you probably could make this usable. And of course, I put in little colored pieces to do that water in there. So we're coming up on the end of the video, so I hope you guys like this. I'm going to have a little B-roll at the end. And feel free to download this. The download will be in the description. And be sure to leave a rating on it if you really like it. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!